Please explain the DA and its policies.
The Democratic Alliance is a party based on the principles which we define as the open opportunity society for all. The open opportunity society for all, in essence, would translate into a society where a young boy or girl, irrespective of their background, whether they're from a rural Eastern Cape or an urban city such as Joburg or Cape Town, has an equal shot at making their life what they would like to be. And it translates into 4 key pillars, which you will see us speak about quite often, and we summarize it like the robot from Star Wars R2-D2, which stands for redress, reconciliation, diversity and delivery. And those are the 4 cornerstones on which our party is based, and that defines our offer to those.
The DA is one of the parties that has a proven track record. We have a government in the Western Cape. We have the city of Cape Town, including various municipalities around the Western Cape. We are the only party in government that has had and received clean audits in every single government election. We are the only party that has spent 76% of our budget within the Western Cape on poor delivery, bringing services to the very much needed communities around the Western Cape. The Western Cape is one of the provinces where we have been governing for the last 5 years. We are now, as you know, going into our next provincial election, where we aim to do the same in the Western Cape. We aim to take it to the other provinces. There is no party that comes anywhere near the DA in terms of our service delivery, in terms of our policies and what we are delivering on the ground within the various different communities.
What is the DA's plan to grow South Africa's economy?
The DA's, going into this election, our entire offer is, as I spoke about opportunity previously, it's about opportunity again. And going through elections, we are saying to South Africans, all South Africans from all communities, is that we can deliver opportunity to all through jobs and economic growth. So especially for young people, this becomes very important. Our offer for this election, one of the main outcomes of a DA government, would be 6 million real, sustainable, permanent private sector jobs within 10 years. And that is underpinned by us offering and saying that we would free up the economy and allow it to grow at 8% per year. Which is a level which is characterized by other developmental countries. They're growing around about sort of between 6 and 12. We're saying 8% a year. We can get our economy growing at that. We're currently growing at something like 2.3%. If we grow at that rate, we can create 6 million real jobs, especially for young people. We can build an inclusive economy. We can break down the barriers for insiders in the economy in South Africa and outsiders. And we will be able to build the South Africa that Nelson Mandela dared dream of in 1994.
The Democratic Alliance believes in an open and free society, one where it doesn't mean that you need to be a friend of a politician to receive a tender. It doesn't mean that you need to be a friend of a government member who controls that tender, and it's only your friend or your family that gets employed. We have an unemployment rate in various provinces anywhere up to 7 million, with our plan of 6 million permanent jobs. That will already encourage foreign investment. The DA believes that unless you make South Africa an attractive market for foreign investment, you're not going to grow your economy. Unfortunately, like the ruling party has done over the last 4 years, they've created an image that no one wants to invest in South Africa. You have other political parties that are willing to destroy the mining sector, the biggest income within South Africa, where the DA is saying, no, you cannot go in and start nationalizing mines where you're going to turn away that investment. That investment drives your GDP, drives your economy, and that is why we would like to make it attractive. In the last 4 years in the Western Cape, we have the highest employment rate within any province in South Africa. Why? Because we've taken our practices, we've taken our policies, and we've implemented them successfully. That way is how we have managed to get more people employed and drive economic development within the Western Cape. That plan will be rolled out nationally.
How does the DA see that it will do in the upcoming election?
We aren't setting any numerical targets. The party has made it very clear that it would like to break out of the Western Cape. We have invested a lot into building a very strong base and challenging for power in Gauteng as well as the Northern Cape. Nationally, we are aiming for a much better improvement. Currently, from 2009, we've got, I think, just under 19% of the vote. In 2011, in the local elections, we got 25% of the vote. 1 in 4 South Africans voted for us. And in this elections, we're looking to maintain that and build on that base.
What does the DA plan to do to fix the education crisis in this country?
You know, we touched on, Jacques really spoke about the economy earlier, and I mean, I wish I could have added on that. But we sit in South Africa in a situation where our education system isn't churning out quality education for the majority of young South Africans. So what we need to do is we need to build an education system that is internationally competitive and that can help young South Africans be competitive on an international level and further their studies and help to grow our economy. Because currently I don't think our education system really works for all. So for example, you know, you look at the province, if you look at the results of the matric results from last year, the Free State and the Northern Cape came with sort of 80%, 87%, whatever, pass rates. And those are the highest in the country, and people said, oh no, this is a great achievement. But if you look at those same provinces, they've got the highest dropout rate. So what's happening is what we essentially call culling. The kids at the bottom aren't performing well, aren't being assisted, they aren't even getting quality education. What's happening is they're getting pushed out of the education system. So, I mean, for example, South Africa, as opposed to many other countries, spends a ridiculous amount of its budget on education, but the outcomes just aren't good enough.
The DA also believes that without the schools and the infrastructure, which we in the Western Cape have already opened up more schools, we aim to open up more, not only open up schools, but also have them as non-paying fee schools, so everyone can have access to starting a school career. It doesn't help that if your building blocks, which is your primary and your high schools, are not giving out the education that is needed. If we look at Limpopo, just last year, a staggering amount of schools did not even have access to textbooks.
30%.
Now, 30%. You cannot expect children to proceed and to engage and benefit themselves if they don't have those textbooks. The Western Cape, 100% of textbooks were delivered within the first month of the year.
Do you think the DA is doing enough to break the perception that it is a white man's party?
Yes. You know, South Africa has a very interesting and we have a history of division. It's a lot easier to build or to do politics of division. Verwoerd taught people how to do that in South Africa. He set that trend. So we in South Africa we know how to divide, but our historic mission as the DA is we want to build the party, the first party in South Africa that is representative of all types of South Africans. And I think we're doing that really well. I mean, if you look at our leadership, our premier, I mean, we've got Premier Helen Zille, but I mean, if you look around, we've got a provincial leader of the Western Cape, Ivan Meyer. He's from the West Coast. We've got Lindiwe Mazibuko, a leader in Parliament, who is she's from KZN. Lucy Mahamani, our candidate for Gauteng, where we would like to win.
Our youth chair
in Bali and Tuli, Makashule Ghana. We really are a party for all South Africans, and we unfortunately have had other parties trying to define us on that, but we will fight hard to show South Africans what we're really about.
The DA is clearly established that they can run a province, the Western Cape, and the ANC is riddled with accusations of corruption and mismanagement. What do you think is stopping the DA from achieving 30%? Isn't it this white man's perception?
So, no, I think we've proven, and I think every day we show the nation that the DA is a diverse and a party for the people every single person. It doesn't make a difference what color your skin color is. And it is a process. We are transforming the different provinces. Our service delivery is speaking for itself, and that is what will get us to the 30%. For a party to grow, as our predictions are, is still probably one of the best party growth that has been seen in the last 20 years of democracy.
Let me close off on that. In 1994, the DP, the party that came before the DA, got 1.7% of the vote. 1.7% of the vote. Which translates to 7 MPs. We had 7 MPs in the 1994 Parliament. You look to 2009, where we're sitting on, with the ID caucus, 83 members of Parliament and roughly 20% of the vote. We are the only party that in every single election has increased the amount of votes it's received. And that is testament to the fact that we are slowly but surely adding on new constituencies and building our base and proving to, and South Africans are telling us that, and showing us that they believe that we are part of the.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.